So, who would have guessed January 1st, 2020, that in March of the same year, the pivotal topic of conversation would be toilet paper? I mean, really, who would have guessed? But here we are in the throes of the March lockdown quarantine for all of us to try to stay safe from the COVID-19 virus. And we are talking about toilet paper more than anything else. And my plea today is, can we just get our focus onto God? Is there any way we can pull ourselves away from doom and gloom, rations, toilet paper, lack, this, that, and focus on Him? And I don't mean a superficial kind of cry out to God right now of just, oh, Lord, help us. Why is this happening? But I mean like a real desire to get to know Him during this time frame from a place of the heart of somebody who truly wants to worship Him and put Him above everything else, which is His rightful place. John 4:24 says that God is spirit, and those who worship Him must worship Him in spirit and truth. But quite frankly, if we don't know who Jesus truly is, then we certainly can't worship Him properly, which would be a true worship of Him is going to place Him above everything else in our lives. And I'll give you an example. If you are, whether you're married, you're whatever, just find the relationship that you know that you have got that is the absolute most intimate relationship. It might be your best friend. It might be your sister, your parents, your one of your children. It could be your spouse, whatever. It's the whole idea of those are the types of relationships that are very intimate. You could be standing on the other side of the room, you raise one eyebrow, and the other person knows exactly what's ticking in your brain at that very moment. That is an intimate relationship. That goes beyond like, just, how are you doing today? Oh, good, thanks for asking. And maybe knowing the person's, what kind of car they drive or their husband's name or their kids' names, but you never go beyond like talking about the weather and how are you doing today. I'm talking deep down, the people that know you best and you know them the best. That's the kind of relationship we want to develop with God. And if we don't have that because we've been going along through life guessing at who God is by going along following somebody else's religion or somebody else's view of God, and it could even be your pastor, who knows? How do you know if he's telling you the truth? If he's not cracking out of this, I can guarantee you he probably isn't feeding you the full truth. So how do you worship a God who asks us to worship Him in spirit and truth if you don't know the truth? So my plea today is that everybody cracks open their Bible, gets it out, maybe blow some dust off of it if it's been sitting somewhere for a while, and start reading. You got nothing else to do right now. If you're in lockdown, then start pecking away at it. Stop thinking about this, stop posting memes, and start reading this. I can guarantee you will come out the other side of the quarantine with a whole new perspective on who God really is, because you will discover it for yourself. There's another verse I want to read real quick, and this one is so if you've been worshiping God and you think you've been worshiping Him, but you've been doing it in your own way just because you've been seeing somebody else do it, whatever that looks like, if you weren't doing it through this, you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry, I got to be the bearer of bad news, because Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And before I got to know who He really was with the written word, I used to think God was an all-loving and all-forgiving God. That's all I really knew. And so I ran on that. I ran my whole thing on that. That's all I needed to know because it sounded good, but it wasn't the whole truth. God is loving. God is forgiving. But God is also a God of righteous judgment. And we don't know that until we have a reverent fear of Him. So I'm going to encourage you, pick up your Bible, start reading so you know more of Him. And remember the last part of that verse, it said, but fools despise wisdom. Don't nobody want to be called a fool. I don't want to be called a fool, and I know you don't want to be called a fool. So don't be a fool. Pick up your Bible and know the true living God as he is talked about in the words of the Bible. Don't add to it. Don't subtract from it. Just read it in its entirety. I am going to tell you that if you don't have a Bible, I will post below a link to my absolute favorite study Bible on the planet. There is nothing better than having a study Bible because it will give you notes with the context, the history, what was going on during the period, and why that particular verse is even in there. And you need that, especially if you're brand new to this walk of getting to know who God really is. You need a study Bible. So click on that link, order your study Bible. It's not through me, it's just through a resource that I happen to treasure. And my goal is to help you treasure God above everything else, including seriously. Let's get you focused on something else. And please consider subscribing to my channel and get connected to us through our community. We are on Facebook and Instagram. And if you are a female who is just getting started with this walk and you are really just, green and growing and thirsty for the truth, and you want a little bit of maybe some one-on-one guidance, I would be thrilled to help you on that journey and help you through that walk. My email is femaleandreformed@yahoo.com. And if I can help even one female to grow in her knowledge and love of Jesus, my work here is done. So you guys, stay safe out there. Don't be no fool. Get your Bible, and we'll see you on the next video.